What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am Ro. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. This video is going to be college roommate advice / tips. Tips will include a little bit of conflict resolution, tips on how to avoid conflict. Having a roommate can be looked at as such a bad thing. I also want to share some light on how one can make a roommate experience positive. With that being said, I'm just gonna hop into the video. Really quickly before we hop into the video, let's talk about this shirt that I'm wearing. It is from HomeBase Brand. Now, this clothing line is very unique. It allows individuals the opportunity to pay homage to wherever they call home by sporting their area codes. Now, I'm from the 205, but I did decide to get a 256 shirt since this is about college and this is the area code where my college is. So I decided to get a 256 shirt, but there's so many options. You can do a hoodie, you can do a shirt, a hat. Now, they do specialize in Alabama area codes. However, if you are not in the state of Alabama, there are options to do a custom code. So definitely check them out down below in the description box. All their contact information is there, but let's hop into the video. So for me personally, I have been a roommate my entire life. So 22 out of my 24 years of life, I have been a roommate. I grew up sharing a room with my siblings. Throughout high school, I was in a summer program that allowed us to stay on a college campus, so I had a roommate there. Then when I got to college, I had different roommates up until my senior year, which was 2018. A lot of these tips aren't even things that I implemented. It's just some things that I noted in hindsight, some things that I wish I would have done, just some lesson learned and some things that I feel would be good to know if you are in a roommate situation. So if you aren't new here, then you know your girl love a piece of paper, right? So of course I jotted my notes down. So I think I want to start out with this point being, don't be so quick to judge, because most times if you're not familiar with your roommate, or if you're in a situation where you did not pick your roommate and it's kind of left up to the system to pick your roommate, there's a great chance that you will be roomed with a polar opposite. But even if you believe that's the case, do not be so quick to judge, which leads me to my point of at least attempt to bond with your roommate. Oh, don't let your first impression keep you from bonding with your roommate or creating a bond with your roommate. This may be your future bridesmaid or groomsman. You never know. You never know who this person may be in your life. So at least attempt to bond. Ways to create a bond with your roommate or to get acquainted with your roommate. If you haven't already, go ahead, swap numbers with your roommate, exchange social media handles if you already haven't. Tell them your Twitter, your Instagram, just so that you guys can get a better idea of each other. You can go to all of the events together. You can go to the cafeteria together. Sometimes you guys can walk each other to class, walk the campus and get familiar with the campus. There are different ways that you can bond. And if you do know some people from the college already, you can invite your roommate out to hang with you guys, and vice versa. Your roommate can invite you out to hang with their crew, or that sounded so old, their people, their friends, whatever. I feel like I'm 30. Also, to bond, ask each other questions. Where are you from? You got any siblings? Just those basic get to know each other questions. Let's move into more of the things that you can do to not only bond but also get ahead of conflict. Conflict is almost inevitable when you're living with a stranger or even with somebody you know. There's bound to be a conflict. The first thing that I recommend is to have a initial sit down. During this sit down, you should definitely swap class schedules. Know what time your roommate's class is, and your roommate can know what time you have classes. Sharing. Do you want to share your toiletries? Do you want to share your food? Mi casa, su casa. Is it that type of relationship? Or are you someone who's into sharing but only certain things? Let it be known the things that you are willing to share and not share. Those items that you don't want to share that are in like common spaces to be taken, definitely go ahead and put your name on them. Definitely label your items. Company. Definitely discuss company. You may be an outgoing extrovert, but your roommate may be an introvert. So definitely discuss whether you're a person who likes a lot of company or don't like a lot of company, especially now, because though you're willing to put yourself at risk of exposure doesn't mean your roommate is. So definitely discuss company. Or they could be totally fine, but just at certain points of the day, like when daytime and they're in class, they don't mind your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whoever you're dating at the time, or just guys or girls that you're cool with to be in there. They won't mind them being there during the day, but once they're settled in for the night, they probably don't want to be around your company. Discuss quiet time. Find out if your roommate is a morning or a night person, and quiet time can be noise and light. So definitely say like, hey, I'm a morning person, so in the morning you may hear me playing music, you may hear me fumbling in here. Or if you're a night person, you don't go to sleep till 2 in the morning, so you got your light on until you go to bed. That's something to discuss. So maybe if that's the case, you can at least turn your light off or have a smaller light that doesn't disturb your roommate if you are in a situation where you're sharing a dorm, because most dorms don't have like any division in the room. And the next thing that I feel should be discussed is cleanliness. Woo! I didn't realize how much of a particular person I was until I got to college. It's not necessarily that I was a neat freak, but I was used to things being cleaned and straightened up a certain way. With that being said, everybody has a different version of clean. You may be in a situation where someone is tidy but they don't clean. And when I say clean, is they don't disinfect, they don't sweep, they don't mop, they don't clean the toilet, they don't wipe out the sink, but they'll put the toothbrush back in its place. Their books won't be everywhere, their clothes are always out of sight. You may have that roommate, but you may be a person who cleans the shower every time you get out, sweep every day, mop every week, but you may leave some clothes laid around or your bed unmade. Like, everybody has a different version of clean. So definitely discuss and be honest about your level of cleanliness and what is your definition of clean. This is something that will actually reveal itself over time, because what your roommate may tell you or what you may tell your roommate may not be the truth in a few months, when you got papers and you got events and you got organization duties to do. Your level of cleanliness may change due to your schedule. So this may be a conversation that you guys have to repeatedly have. And if you want to go a step ahead with the cleaning thing, you guys can kind of plan who's going to clean on which days. Like, maybe you have a light class schedule day, so that'll be your day to clean. And when your roommate has a light day, that'll be their day to clean. This particular point is near and dear to my heart. Discuss air conditioning. That can make or break a roommate situation. Those are just a few things that you can discuss, and you can also add some things that are particular to you, like if you have a food allergy, you have a condition or a disability. Definitely discuss those important things. And like I mentioned with the cleaning point, this next tip is to have sit downs as often as needed. Rules and needs change over time, so definitely have a sit down like, hey, you know, this week I'm going to be busy, so I may not be as clean. You know, this week my boyfriend is going to be in town, so he may be over here, my boyfriend or girlfriend, so you may see them more often. What worked at the beginning of the semester may not work mid-semester, so have sit downs as much as you can, or it don't even necessarily have to be sit downs. Just keep your roommate updated. Always share a change with your roommate. That can get in front of a conflict. If you think it's imperative to, display your boundaries or the things that you discuss somewhere in the room, and let it be in a tasteful way, just for reminding purposes. And don't only put your boundaries, include your roommate's boundaries on there as well. And piggybacking off that, just communicate. And I want to push communication, because you will soon learn that common sense is non-existent. And to put it frankly, common sense ain't common. The way that you were raised up and the things that were instilled in you weren't instilled in your roommate. Don't even make the assumption. Don't assume, because you will be disappointed. So that's why it's important to communicate even the smallest thing. It doesn't have to be in a confrontational way, but just address everything. Don't take anything for coincidence. And on a more positive note, Leave positive messages around the room. Like you can put a sticky note with something like have a good day, a scripture, you can put affirmations, you can put compliments, or you can even just do a thank you. A thank you for cleaning the bathroom, I'll do it next time. Just some positive messages around the room. And that's a great way to get in front of conflict, is to add some positivity into the room. During your discussion, I forgot to mention, come to a happy medium. Don't think that things has to be your way or no way. You are in a roommate situation, so compromise has to be there. If you cannot bring in your residential advisor, assistant, floor advisor, whatever the case may be, bring them in so that you guys can have a conflict resolution. Another thing, respect your roommate's wishes and boundaries. Roommate relationships honestly are a two-way street. Let's see now, say for instance, conflict has presented itself. How can you deal with it? One way that you can do it, you can send a quick text message, you can leave a note. I personally prefer face-to-face just so things won't get misinterpreted, because that's an easy way. I'm actually kind of against the whole text message and like leaving a note thing. That's not really my thing, but I know that's like an easy way to communicate in roommate situations. So be very, very mindful of how you reinforce your boundaries. Do not leave rude or passive aggressive notes. Another thing, document and report every incident or altercation. So ways that you can document it is just to keep like a little journal or something, or like make note in your phone, like today she did this or today he did that. Or if it's just that serious to where you don't think that you can do anything about it, definitely have things on file. Like make sure that you note it to your resident advisor. If your resident advisor doesn't do anything, go to the director. So when you are reporting incidents, make sure that you're following the chain of command, starting with your advisor. First starting with your roommate, and then going to your advisor, then director, and then so forth. Even if you're not wanting your RA to do anything about it necessarily, still tell them like, hey, me and my roommate sat down and we decided that we wouldn't have company at this hour, but she did have company today at this time, and this is like the third time that she's done it, so I just want to report it to you. I don't want you to do anything about it necessarily, but I did want it to be reported, so in case it does continue to escalate, I can say that this problem keeps happening. To get in front of conflict or possibly having your things stolen, never leave your valuables out for easy access. If you have like a wardrobe set up in your room, or a closet, or like under the bed storage, you're not in the room, keep your valuables out of the way. So if your valuables do come a missing, you know that somebody had to have rummaged through your things or have broken into your things in order to get to them. But if you just have your laptop laying on your bed when you're not there, it's going to be hard to defend that, even though, like I said, common sense ain't common. Just because you were raised to not touch other people's things doesn't mean the roommates or their company are raised to do the same thing. Definitely lock up your valuables, looking to get in a safe or getting a lock for your wardrobe system. So if things are just completely out of hand and things possibly are to the point where you feel that could get physical, request for a roommate change. Don't have yourself in a situation of being uncomfortable or angry every day. Go ahead and request a roommate change. The best way for this to happen is to have those reports and documents ready to go. You can't have bottled in all of your problems all semester and then be at your wits end and just randomly go to your director and be like, hey, I need a room change because my roommate has been doing this all semester. They're probably gonna be like, well, have you told anybody? And if you haven't told anybody, they're not gonna take your need to move very seriously. Face-to-face and just confrontational situations are different for everyone. A lot of people do not like conflict. A lot of people do not like confrontation. And if you are one of those people, definitely have your RA mediate with the both of you present. And that's a really good way to resolve conflict without necessarily feeling like you're snitching or tattletelling or whatever the case may be. So versus you going to tell your RA and then your RA come back in and confront your roommate, you say, hey, can you come to the room real quick, or can you come to the room tonight and sit down and talk with us, and let your roommate know. And my battery is about to die, so I want to get this last point out of the way, and this is a safety point. Share your location with your roommate. And by that I mean in your messages, go ahead and share your location so that someone in this world can know where you are at all times. I know at this point we think we're free, we don't necessarily want to share our location with our parent, but definitely consider sharing your location with your roommate, because we are in crazy times and we don't want to come up in a situation where we could possibly know and we don't know. I want to add this in, hopefully my battery doesn't die. Definitely discuss smoking and drinking. Those things are definitely factors. I know for me, I'm not a fan of being around smokes. Discuss that, honey. I think that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out. I actually posted one of my crazy roommate story times back in March or April of this year, so if you want to check that out, it'll be up in the cards or down below in the description box, or it may be on the screen towards the end of the video. So if you want to check that out, be sure to check it out. Completely off of that, if you want to know how I achieved this box braid bomb, that video will be at the end in the cards and down below in the description box too. I hope this was a help for you if you needed it, or just some things to keep in mind as you go through your college career or your roommate experience. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah.